You're tuned to Night Nerves, where if it's scary, creepy, thrilling, or disturbing, we read it, watch it, and talk about it. I'm Sam, and today we are looking at my Autumn Horror TBR. It still feels a lot like summer here in Southern California, but spooky season is right around the corner. This is my favorite time of year, and I'm super excited to read some spooky horror books. Just because it is the Halloween season does not mean I am going to exclusively read Halloween horror novels. I definitely have some Halloween horror books in this TBR, but I really just look for books that are haunted, creepy, eerie, spooky, and ghostly. I had a massive list of books that I was excited to read this Halloween season, and I whittled that list down to 5. There were a couple game day decisions, stuff I decided on today, just a little bit before recording this video. So without further ado, let's look at these books. First up, we have Fear Street's Halloween Party, written by R.L. Stine. I had to include at least one YA horror novel on this reading list, and Halloween Party won that spot. I don't know anything about Halloween Party, and I'm actually not certain that I've never read this book before. I was particularly fond of reading Stine's Halloween-themed horror books when I was younger, whether they were Goosebumps books, the Fear Street books, the Point horror books. It's surprising that I actually never read Halloween Night 1 and 2 when I was younger. Those are 2 books that I read last October of last year. But this has got Halloween in the title. It's got a classic Fear Street cover on it, and I'm excited. I'm keeping my expectations low. I feel like they've been higher for other Fear Street books. I'm just looking for a fun, nostalgic Halloween time, and I'm hoping that Halloween Party will deliver that. Next up on the list, we have The Devil's End, written by D.A. Fowler. From what I know, The Devil's End is a high school Halloween horror novel where some satanic stuff is taking place. It sounds very similar to Blood Sabbath by Lee Clark, which I read this past summer and which I really loved. So, needless to say, I'm quite excited to read The Devil's End. I've only read a couple other books by D.A. Fowler, but I am a big fan. They were 5-star reads for me. She's definitely one of those underrated paperbacks from hell authors. She kind of came on the scene, as far as I know, around the late 80s, early 90s. After the paperback horror craze, it kind of faded out a bit. And I feel like she never really got the recognition that she deserved. She's a very strong writer in my experience, and I hope that Devil's End continues that trend. The next book I have here is called Dreamhouse, written by Douglas Borton. I believe Dreamhouse follows a family that goes to live in a dream house that's in the middle of nowhere. It kind of has a crazy architecture to it. It's got weird windows that have a strange geometry to them. I think the doors and the rooms. Everything about the house is kind of off or unique. Almost sounds like it's like they're living in a fun house that's a residential home. Just based on the cover, the genre, I have to guess some scary stuff happens to the family. Douglas Borton, similar to D.A. Fowler, is one of those authors that came onto the scene towards the tail end of the paperback horror craze, and similarly did not get the recognition he deserves. I've heard just incredible reviews about this book. I've heard it's scary. I've heard it's a lot of fun. It sounds like the perfect book to read for the spooky season. I'm very stoked. Staying with the spooky house theme, we have Charnal House, written by Graham Masterton. I have absolutely no idea what this book is about, but this cover is insane. Take a look at this thing. I've read a fair amount of Graham Masterton's work. He tends to like to use the outline of traditional horror stories, and then he'll totally play against a lot of the genre tropes. He'll subvert your expectations. So it'll be interesting to see if and how he does that here in Charnal House. With vintage horror, it's pretty common for books to feature an amazing cover that has nothing to do with the plot or the story of the book, but I'm gonna hold my breath here and hope that this is a scene from the novel here. Looks incredible. A lot of these horror novels from the 80s had really awesome cover art on them, and this one's no exception. And finally, the last book on my Autumn Horror TBR is Joyride, written by Stephen Crye. I've heard people describe Joyride as an 80s slasher, but people really just praise the hell out of this book. It's supposed to be well written, fast paced, and have really great kills in it. Aside from that, I really know nothing about Joyride, but as I was holding it up, I read a couple great little taglines on the back that I will share with you now. He waits, he watches, he kills. Joyride, the ultimate terror trip. More horrifying than Halloween, more grisly than Friday the 13th. This is my Autumn Horror reading list for 2025. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Please make sure to like this video, leave it a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram at @night_nerves. I'm also on Goodreads. I'm on Goodreads, but I'm not like on there frequently, but I believe I'm at www.goodreads.com/night_nerves. I'm gonna link both of those socials down below. One last thing before we go, Cameron Chaney from Library Macabre here on YouTube was kind enough to send me copies of both of his books. The first one being Autumn Crow, which is a collection of short stories that take place in Autumn Crow Valley where every night is Halloween, and Autumn Crow High Fresh Hell, which is the first in a series he's doing similar to Fear Street and The Point horror books. I'm very, very excited to read both of these. I already read the first story here in Autumn Crow and I really enjoyed it. So thank you, Cameron. I'm definitely going to be reading Autumn Crow in between some of these books on my TBR. Hopefully I finish it this season, but I might want to save a couple for next year. I'm not someone that typically devours an entire collection of short stories. Both of these will get individual videos when I finish reading them. I hope your Halloween season is spooky, chilly, and packed with scary movies and great books to read. Thanks again for stopping by. I hope to see you in the next one. Stay spooky.